Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is where you are. Welcome to Excellent Books. I'll be your host for this evening. We are in the library at Surprise View, which is just up there. That way is towards Hathersage and the Hope Valley. That way is towards Grindleford and the Hope Valley. If you didn't know where I was, I have Pig on my back because it's the 1st of November. I'm having a camp out for the night, and what better time to do you as well as a camp. I'm gonna walk down this path here, drop down into the woods. There's another quarry on our left called Lawrencefield. We're gonna carry on past that, maybe 300-400 metres. On the right, in the silver birch trees, I'm gonna put up my tent, make a brew, and I will get back to you. I might even open up on the way there. Who knows? So we're still in library, in, what would you call this? Gardening. Let's call it the gardening section. Gardening and woodland. Nice silver birch wood all the way around. We're heading to the Gothic horror shelves just up here. I hope you've all had a good reading month. I've read loads of spooky stories and bought loads of books. I'm just going to a little bit further on, a little bit out of the way to this flat spot just here. Just here, I think. This is a nice spot to spend the night. Or even just here. Now it's a bit of an angle here, so I'll go back there. Back there, 20 foot. So here we are in the Gothic horror section of the library. I've just made a brew. As I say, just finished work. It has been a particularly grim month because idiots try and kill themselves or kill other people in Spooktober more than any other month, which is bizarre, but it's, you know, when they do round Sheffield. And I've been on call through a lot of it, just how it's happened really, because I'm on earlies this week, or I have been on earlies this week. I'm on call again next week. Get to work for 6, work straight through, can finish at 1:30. So I normally do that. The reason why I'm eating my dinner while I'm out here talking to you beautiful people So this is a lovely silver birch and oak woodland. I think a lot of the birches were planted around the early 70s, but I could be wrong, when the quarry stopped being used. And yeah, so that's when they started building this. So let's get to what you've come for. Let's get to what you've signed up for. Spooktober. I only read 2 books this month because it's been a bit hectic. I hope you've read more, or if you've not read, you've just enjoyed what you're reading. So I read and put my eyes on started the month off with The Wendigo and Other Stories by Algernon Blackwood. It's a Oxford press book. They're all his short story collections. He was born in 1869 in England, and he moved to Canada and America. Good lad. And then he moved back to Britain, like me, where he began writing. His first stories were published in 1906, and he died in 1951. Now, his shorter stories are really, really good. There's an excellent one about this bloke. He goes back to his childhood. He's travelling around Europe. He goes to his childhood school, where he was sent from England into France, and it's a public school. And he gets chatting to the old masters, and a lot of spooky stuff goes down, and in the end the monastery was burnt down, so he's rescued basically. That's a fantastic story. There's another one about a bloke goes to this village that in the past was a haven for witches, and he thinks it's a bit odd. He gets off the train that's really crowded, walks to this village, and there's loads of witches in it, and he gets the feeling that everyone's watching him, but they're not watching him. They walk around like cats. And that one really was, I thought, was quite spooky, because I'm not a cat person, I'm a dog person. Don't particularly like cats, but if you like cats, well, that is a story for you. And it's how these witches try and get him, basically. These longer ones, I just thought they were quite repetitive, and you only need, when it's only like a 50-page short story, you only need to be told once. Certainly not 3, 4, 5 times. He was trying to, it was like his editor had not gone through his work and edited it really hard, whether he's the editor or what, and cut that repetitiveness out of it, and they could have been really good short stories as well. But overall, Algernon Blackwood, fantastic horror, gothic horror, so it's not particularly blood and gore, it's just the horror of what could happen, the suspense of it. But I liked it, it was good. It wasn't a struggle to read, and there were page turners, even though the longer ones I didn't particularly care for. The second book that I read was by Arthur Machen, The Great God Pan and Other Short Stories. Other horror stories, sorry, another Oxford edition. These two from someone on the internet says these are the ones to get. He's a big YouTuber, and he recommended these two collections. This Arthur Machen was a Welsh bloke, born in 1863, died in 1947. I have read 2 or 3 of his short stories, The Great God Pan and The White People, and what was the other one that I'd already read? The Ceremony, I think. I think they was them. He was an inspiration for Stephen King and Lovecraft when they did their stories, which you can tell actually, especially by Stephen King. It's not an easy, they're not easy reads, even though they're short. They make you, well, both of them do, because they wrote in the early 1900s, pre-World War One, just a little bit after World War One. They use a lot of different language, which I quite like, but it can be quite hard to read. You can't just zoom through them, you know what I mean? So if you like stories with a beginning, a middle and an end, probably Machen is not the man for you. It seems to like very meandery stories, all interlinked, even though they're all stories in their own right. What else have I put? If you put the time into it, it is a good book. In this edition, you get the full 3 imposters. I think it's the imposters. Oh, there's fucking people coming through my library. Just hold on. I'm right in the part where not many people walk in the library. They either go on the top or they go down the bottom. There was lost. So yeah. So 2 very good books. I like the Oxford editions. They give you a, you know, appendix at the back, which you need. And there's just some brilliant lines in there. So they're the only 2 that I read. Short story collections. really good. So obviously, because I'm an addict, the same as you're an addict, I've bought some more books. This is the second part. So, first book I bought is another short stories. I quite like short stories, I must admit. I like to get a proper meaty book, and I can read at work in my lunch hour, so I can normally get a short story in, or get most of it in. This one is, I like this collection of books as well, The Haunted Trail. And this is by the British Library. This section, Classic Tales of Rambling Weird. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 short stories, all different authors, all from around, again, the early pre-World War I era, if not earlier. So, and they're the short stories that I like, straight to the point. I have got quite a few of these British Library books, which is where I read Arthur Machen's Great God Pan, and the other ones in this collection. So that is the first, The Haunted Trail. So I'm going to work my way through these and get quite a few of them. Second up, on BookTube at the minute, there is a book called, I think it's called James. He was the slave in Huckleberry Finn. It's all over the internet, you'll know it. I don't buy hardback books unless I really have to, so I've got to wait until the beginning of next year for it to come out in paperback in England, which I will do. There's a big crow sat in a tree, just flown into a tree just over there. Anyway, and a lot of people have said you don't have to read The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn first, but it helps. So, you know, I bought The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain, Penguin edition. I do think I read this before when I was first in America, so that'll be 20 years ago, can't remember, 25 years ago, more, Jesus. So I can't remember a great deal about it, to be honest. So, American classic, get to that. I'm not in a rush. I particularly want to read James, but I want to read this first, so I've got a full year to get through other books that are on my hit list. And that, my very good friends, is it. I've been very good. My addiction has not come off too bad. Just 2 books. I've read 2 books, so we're in balance. The universe is in equilibrium. And yeah, hopefully this in slow motion. So I shall show you once more around the library. There's a cool cloud inversion down there, because that's the Hope Valley. In the morning, all the valley will be clouds, and then we'll be above the clouds, hopefully. We're up in these woods here, in the library, sorry. Just through here. Everything's gravy. I hope you've all had a fantastic month reading, doing whatever you do. As long as you enjoy what you're doing, happy days. Stay safe, have a good time. See you soon. Ta-da, folks.